Hey y'all, welcome back to Live from Mississippi, Spirit of the Outdoors. I am firing up the Blackstone tonight. Let me find something here. I like this little brush thing right here. It seems to work pretty good if you do it before you put any grease on here. Y'all, I'll tell you what I really love. I love the fact that I can come out here to this Blackstone and take the lid off and it ain't rusted up. And we've been getting a lot of rain. So the fact that it getting hot enough is the secret to curing this Blackstone. If you're struggling with your Blackstone keeps rusting up, get on Amazon, order you a regulator that's got that valve on it where you can turn it up and down, where you put some fire to this thing and get it hot enough to cure it. That's the whole deal. All that business about you got to have a certain thing to put on it, and you got to do thin layers and do it 5 or 6 times as hogwash. If you'll get that joker hot, you can pour the oil to it and it'll cure. I improved it. And y'all forgive me, I was going to go shave. I ain't had time. I said, I need to shave for a film, and I done been busy doing stuff, sticking tomatoes. I'll tell y'all a little about what all been going on. So while this is heating up, I got some shrimp over here I'm gonna season. Peppers, I got some chanterelles need to cut up. I got some squash and zucchini, so let's cut this up. Let me set y'all down over here somewhere. So I gotta get my, I don't know what Brody had this can. It's a chock full of nuts coffee can. I'm gonna put all these names in here because here after a while, we're gonna give this knife away live. I know a bunch of you fixing to jump on and say, I didn't know you was giving a knife away. Well, that's because you don't watch my videos. Yeah. I waited to the end of a video here about 2 weeks ago and told y'all I was giving it away. And so I'm gonna use it today. Let me wipe it off good. It's been laying out here. I want to use it one last time on this live. Throw them pieces off out through yonder somewhere. I cut that neck up, cut the bottom off. The reason I'm giving it away is Uncle Sasquatch gave me a really good meat cleaver. If y'all didn't see it, and whenever he gave me that stuff in the video where I opened all of this up, I said I was going to give the other one away. So give a chance for me to give back to some other people. I'm always getting stuff and I feel guilty about it, and I don't need a pile of knives. This is a good knife, so I tell you what, I better turn this down. And let it get warm slowly because I'm gonna be a few minutes cutting up my stuff here. And them shrimp it don't take them long at all to cook. If you be cooking shrimp, 4 or 5 minutes, you burning them up. I didn't know all that. I got told all that. So these squash, y'all, they come right out the garden this week. And you'll have to forgive the air conditioners humming, the lawnmowers running. I mean, it's Friday afternoon, folks, is getting it done, and it's done got hot down here, y'all. Them air conditioners is a staple. If somebody really wants to do a real survival video around here, if we ever go to a no power situation, how to deal with no air conditioning is going to be a critical part of survival here in Mississippi. And I get all them people from other places that say, oh, it ain't even hot down there, the temperature's higher here and all. But y'all don't understand that humidity is a killer. I don't need no whole bunch of that. I'm gonna set that right there. I mean, that humidity is bad. And until you've been here in Mississippi and really anywhere from East Texas into Florida, Georgia, y'all know about it. Nobody will. There'll be some testimonials in the comment section about it. They can tell you. Folks be like, we thought this was a joke. We thought y'all was exaggerating. We stepped off that airplane, you know. No, we wasn't just trying to have bragging rights. I mean, really. I'd he'd rather brag about something else. Y'all listen, whoever wins this knife today, when I sit down over there, we're going to draw a name. I got all the names that emailed me, wrote down in that box. We ain't taking no more names. You've had 2 weeks. And I don't have a sheath for it. Somebody's going to wish they'd have had a sheath. I probably got way too much zucchini. That one little old rooster down there, he got a high-pitched scream. Boy, he's preaching now. I'm going to have to put him on just in time. He got a voice. I think I'm gonna cut up. This is a straight neck squash. I don't need a whole lot of stuff. Y'all, a little bit of vegetables go a long way. They got them 4-wheelers fired up, y'all. They excited. This weekend around here, the young'uns has got their radios are going boom, boom, boom. You know, you can't hear nothing but boom, boom, boom for 10 miles. I used to do it, so I don't complain a lot, because I did it too when I was that age. I had a 4-wheeler, I rode up and down the road and everywhere else. So I don't let it upset me, but I just let y'all know what all that racket was you was hearing in the background. That now, you hear it sounds more like a weed eater that's got a drink or something that was a little too strong for it. I got about 3 jalapeno peppers right here. I'm going. And before anybody gets to asking, Brody ain't him again. That young'un don't stay here enough for nothing. He been gone all week. But he went to a Nerf gun birthday party. He left with a Nerf. Well, I wasted that. No, I didn't. I didn't waste it. I'm going to do like any good red Roscoe ain't out here. He won't hardly steal a jalapeno from me. I'm going to wipe it off good and we're going to eat it. What'd y'all say, 3-second rule or something? These ain't hot. Our peppers around here don't get real hot till later in the year. We'll get on over in the middle of the summer and they'll get dry. Man, they'll start getting hot, hot, hot. These actually, my mama, she planted her stuff on time and these come out of her garden. Try to do a little better job of not getting all them seeds in there. That 4-wheeler sounds like it watched Roadhouse right before going to a bar. Loud mouth, you know. Y'all probably don't even know what Roadhouse is. If you don't, you ain't missing nothing, mate. Old bad movie, don't nobody need to watch. Here. They got them a weed eater with wheels, is what they got. Oh, Lord. Oh, to be young again, y'all. I don't think I need but them 2 peppers. All right. One more thing I'm going to slip in here since Michelle ain't here. I've had these chanterelles for a day or 2, and I need to cut them up, and they got to be cooked. So let me pull this off and use this bowl for my vegetables. All right, and we got some olive oil here. And we're gonna do olive oil on them vegetables. Y'all see how I did that, didn't you? I need to go in there and get me some, a little bit of seasoning out of the cabinet. I need some oregano. That's what I gotta have. So I'm gonna run in there and get that. I got these 2 bowls. That is my shrimp. Now this is old Walmart shrimp, already peeled and all such as that. So let me cut these chanterelles up. And I don't know which bowl to throw them in. I think I'll leave them. So I think I'm gonna cook them in butter separate. I'm just gonna halve them. Me and Brody picked these the other day. Now these been in the refrigerator for several days, so they not looking the best in the world, but they still very much edible. They ain't gonna, that and there, see, this done got a bad look to it. It ain't gonna hurt you, but it probably ain't gonna taste the best. You know what I mean? And for those of you that are live, that ain't never eat a chanterelle, maybe didn't watch a chanterelle cooking video, I eat a lot of this stuff. So this one here is good. Ain't the perfect one either. Let's see. Let's find a better looking. Well, they ain't none of them just look real good, do they? But they, see how they got them vein, and after they've been in the refrigerator, them ribs get a little more like a vein, like a gill, but they not gills. They just a smooth rib. So anyway. And y'all, I ain't got my iPad even out here yet. I ain't looking at the comments. I get my stuff cut up here. I make you look at a couple of comments. I ain't just ignoring y'all. I just got to get my stuff done right here. So anyway, see what all kind of comment. Just seeing who was all on there. Let me go get some more seasoning and get a drink of my water too. I got a lot to tell y'all, a lot to show you. So I'll be right back. What, y'all done decided I wasn't coming back? I was hunting a garlic salt, and apparently it is non-existent in the house anymore. So I'm gonna make some coffee over there here shortly. I found the Italian seasoning. I found the garlic powder. I didn't want to put my blend on it. I don't know why, but so anyway, we're gonna put some garlic powder. I never did find the garlic salt. Italian seasoning. And see that olive oil, I put it in this bowl of vegetables. It will, and then lemon pepper. I like lemon pepper, and I like a lot of it. So I'm gonna put the lid on that. Yeah. All right. Let's turn around over here. There ain't no such thing as peace and quiet out here in the country. For anybody that thought they was, you was bad mistaken. Let's see, I got a cleaner knife right here. I cleaned it earlier. That's what we're gonna do right there. Butter, 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 butter. Butter, 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 butter. The other knife was laying over yonder. Put them chanterelles right off on that butter like that. I'm gonna do these shrimps right over here. Oh, I got one of these that is, let me wipe it off good before I get started. All right. Alright, we turning it up, get the fire turned up a little bit. I had let it get a little low. Well, y'all, I think I'm gonna have a muzzleloader to hunt with. Yep. I have done Frankenstein to me a muzzleloader up. So, good Lord. So I got one that would shoot. The barrel was not as rusted out as the rest of them in bad shape. The reason I had not already started fooling with it, good Lord, they up here in my backyard. They up here on any on their own property now, making all that racket. Good Lord. I can't even think of what I said now. Oh, I may have to put a stop to that. You let folks ride, but then they do it at the worst times. But anyway, I'm building a muzzleloader. Oh, I had an old rifle that the trigger was hard to pull. So I got out there and shot it yesterday, 2 or 3 times, and I got it with 50 yards. Those last 2 shots was like that far apart. So the first 2 shots is awful because the trigger is so hard to pull. And I got an Investor Arms that is a good little rifle, but its barrel was the worst out of all of them. The Investor Arms had a 15/16 barrel. Well, the one that's got the decent shooting barrel was a 1-inch barrel. So that was what my whole problem was there. Plus, I had not shot it. I didn't know how good a shape it was in. And today, I spent the afternoon sanding that stock out and fit that 1-inch barrel into that rifle that came with a 15/16. So, oh. May have a rifle that will shoot here for long. We're going to take a day next week and get it out and see if we can do some shooting. See if we can fine tune it. In other words, see what all it likes and all such as this. I am fixing to cut up some more butter and lop it right off in them shrimps. Oh, Lord, I don't know about all that racket. Right up here in the backyard. I don't know why I mixed all that up. I had other intentions of that. I'll show you now what they are. Let me quiet. I had to keep me a rag out here, and I ain't got my cooking rags. I couldn't leave them out here because the wind kept blowing them all off out through yonder. There we go. Alright, I'm fixing to do that. Ooh, smelling good. I am somewhat thirsty. Put this back in the refrigerator. Alright, so next thing I do is I gotta go get a bowl of something to put that in. So let me go do that. Alright. The whole intentions was tonight is Michelle was gonna make some noodles, pasta like noodles, and we was gonna serve this together kind of over pasta. Well, I ain't never made pasta. I'm sure I've made Roman noodles. It can't be no whole lot different, you know, boil some noodles pretty much. I've been busy and ain't done that, so this is getting cooked like this. I'm probably gonna take it in yonder and set it down and leave it for her. So while that's cooking, I'm finna start some coffee over here. Y'all come on. This pot is supposed to already have water in it. I need to check though to make sure there ain't no frog or nothing climbed off over in there when I wasn't looking. Oh no, it looks good. One something floating in there. What's? It's alright. It'll be alright. Cause we're gonna boil it anyway. Be alright. So y'all, we went to the dirt cheap store uptown. They had it marked down. Pete's Coffee, y'all. Pete's Coffee is pretty good coffee. I just pour about yay much in there. You don't get too scientific. I know some folks, boy, they coffee. You'd think they were building a science experiment in a chemistry lab when they get to making coffee. It's just dark and you. I don't overthink things. I ain't even got my lighter in my pocket no more. Oh, Lord. Not to worry, I keep one out here for just such an occasion as this. Alright, we'll have coffee here after a while. By the time we get ready to sit down over here and do some yelping and give a knife away and such as that. Somebody's gonna be the proud owner of this here shortly. I'm mighty excited about it. It's a good knife. It really is. Alright, well y'all get back over here now. Don't be standing around over there by the coffee pot too long. You get in trouble over there. Somebody done bent a leg on my tripod. I don't know how in the world that took place. Y'all see my hammock over yonder hung up? I laid out there last night and read a Zane Grey book till the mosquitoes just might near eat me slam up. I had to get up and come in. I'm reading the Deer Stalker. I'm a slow reader, y'all, because I don't read. I got so much other stuff to be doing. I don't have a lot of time to read. I'm trying to wean myself off of this internet so much. I stay on it entirely too much, but I watch a few videos. I don't watch a whole lot. When I got time, instead of me sitting down in there in a recliner doing nothing, watching some stuff, I'm reading a book. So, all right. That's got to be good enough on that. I gotta have some more water. I got me an old cranberry juice jug I keep full of water, keep it in the refrigerator. That way I ain't gotta have no ice. I ain't got no ice maker out here. It'll melt anyway. And I just fill it up out of the tap. It ain't killed me yet. That may be what's wrong with me though, reckon. Alright, let's mix all that together now. Oh, y'all, look at him. Shrimp and fresh vegetables and foraged mushrooms. I mean, can you beat that? Can you beat that? Well, you could beat it with a grunnel, obviously. Maybe some deer heart, you know, fried deer heart would probably top it. Fresh squirrels might be better, I don't know. But this is gonna be good, doggone it. Alright, you see all that sticking? Most of that is my seasoning. Bruce Mitchell said you hit that with that water and it loosens that up. So you get your seasoning back off there like that. Alright, let's season it one more again. And all we're going to do this time is garlic powder. Because I didn't want to get too much lemony on it. I mean, too much cinnamon out of my... And then we're going to add lemon pepper. Alright. Now, if you can taste them shrimp, you'll be lucky. Somebody call that. Y'all, I think I made some folks quite upset today. I didn't realize so many folks was going to get wound up about me cutting with that axe with no shoes on. And I tell you, my thinking was, is them little old flimsy rubber boots wasn't going to slow that axe down. All the Native Americans and the mountain men wore moccasins and chopped with axe. And a pair of moccasins ain't gonna slow that axe down. And I ain't much for working out here in a hot steel-toed boot, so. Mike Reed, how is you tonight? We got shrimp, fresh squash, and zucchini, and chanterelle mushrooms. All on the Blackstone. We steamed that up pretty good. We fixing to pull it off, put it in this glass bowl. I should have brought out some of that southern mud pottery to put it in, but I didn't have time to dig around in there looking for it. Raked all that off on it. Yep, look at that. I ain't even got a fork out here, y'all. Oh, look at there. Look at there. I'm going to take this in the house and set it down. I'm going to wait on my wife to get home to eat. Oh, I ain't going to eat without her. I couldn't do her that way. I got to clean this thing up before I go on and check on my coffee. And then we're going to sit down and give a knife away. So y'all hang on just a second. I got to locate my iPad too. All right, I got my iPad found. I got that put up. Let me show y'all how I do this. Somebody will want to know. need that no more. I'll sit over, I gotta wipe that off. Water. Scrub the pad brush. Don't get crazy on there, you'll slosh that hot water up on your hand. You gotta slow down a little bit. I get in a hurry, is why I say that. I'll be sloshed that all everywhere. And then I gotta go rinse all that off. And then this is where this old nasty shirt right here comes in. It ain't, it's just food stuff I'm doing this right here. And after you do that 4 or 5 times, then you got to throw that away, because there won't be no cleaning it. And I try to get that junk out of the corners. And I'll tell y'all, I got smart and got them pans that, these things here that go in that grease trap back there, and that's the way to go. There ain't no more all that fighting with it. So anyway, wipe that off. I gotta go wash it, but while I can, I wipe some of that stuff off of it. Get my water. Let's go over here and give a knife away. Somebody wants to win this knife. Show y'all my otter hide here in a little bit too. Don't let me forget about it. I get sidetracked, won't never think about it. Holy day, y'all, I got y'all still jacked way up there. Hang on, let me fix this camera where I can tolerate it. Oh, that's much more better. Turn it up a little bit and let me straighten y'all. There. Now we cooking with Crisco. Or lard or something other. Lake Wesson. I bet Brody's got it on. No, he don't. So what we fixing to do is the other day when I opened a box of stuff, Uncle Sasquatch sent me some odd and end things, books and some treats for Roscoe. But he had me a big old meat cleaver in there. And I showed y'all a second ago. Well, I had made this one. This is made from a lawnmower blade. And I forged it out here not long ago. It has got cherry handle on it. The scale, the tang stops right there. So on out, what I done was I put a piece of that zebra wood or monkey wood or whatever it was in there, just something I had laying there that was the same thickness, and glued all it together and pinned it. So it is a pretty heavy knife, and you can see by my hand, I mean, it's just ideal. It's got some curve to it. It's a really good knife, but it really wasn't big as what I wanted out here cooking. I like a big giant knife just because it looks cool, not that you need a big giant knife to cook with. So what I done is I said, well, since Uncle Sasquatch sent me that one, let me hook my iPad up. It's on 50%, and I'll charge it a while, and then in a little while I'm gonna have to hook my phone up to that thing. That's my portable power bank. So I said, I'm gonna give this away, and I told everybody on that video, I said, email me, tell me why you'd like to have this knife. Y'all had some pretty cool stories. A few sad stories. Few people needed a knife. Some people, I just want it. I want it because you made it, whatever. None of that really mattered to me. Everybody that emailed me about it, your name is in this appropriate chock full of nuts bucket. So I put all your nuts in this bucket. I'm kidding, y'all. Don't be offended. I'm just playing. I'm going to mix them up good. I wish Brody was here. I'd let Brody draw your name out, but Brody ain't here, so... all right. I ain't gonna look. I don't know whose name I'm gonna draw out of here. We need some drums. Ain't got no drums. All right, this one right here will work. Who? Well, I'll declare. Can y'all read that? Mary Hoffman. Very, very appropriate. And there's a pile of other names in there, y'all. Miss Mary sends me stuff along. In fact, I need to go get my bug zapper she sent me. She sent me a pocket knife. So it is very appropriate that she won that. I'll get that in the mail this coming week. So she usually watches, and I don't know if she's probably ain't even on here tonight. She told me she goes to bed early. She'll start watching it, and then she'll go to sleep on me before I get through. No, I hadn't seen her comment tonight. She may join in here in a little while. But y'all, being we just done a giveaway, I want to give something else away. I'm not going to give it away tonight. I want to talk to you about it first, okay? I've got 2 books right here. I find these, and I don't know, they got a sticker stuck on them. I found them in a thrift store, and I run across these pretty regular. Now, this is only going to interest somebody that enjoys reading, and I am giving these away because I really think this will help somebody. This is the 2 parts, This Present Darkness and Piercing the Darkness, written by Frank Peretti. I have read these books. These books are a fictional tale. Let me cut my coffee off. I saw steam over there and that coffee was boiling pretty good. I had to cut it down. These books are a fictional tale, and they're about one is somewhat about a young preacher moves into a town, and it's describing the evil that is around a college campus in that town. And these books were written in, oh Lord, I want to think the 90s. First printing 1986. And I have read these. They're very good books. I have a hardback copy of them. And when I find these, I pick them up and I have given them to people I know. I've given them to different ones that I thought would help them. So what this does is this explains spiritual warfare. Through a fictional tale, the guy made up a story, and I have talked to several preachers that have read this book, great men of God, that say this is probably about as close to reality as it is explained. So what it does is through this book, this is sort of like fantasy with spiritual. It'll go into the eyes of the angels, and it'll talk about the angels it'll make up some names, obviously. It don't use real names out of the Bible. Makes up some names, and these angels are fighting with these demons, and it tells you how these demons are grasping people and influencing them. And if you're interested in reading these 2 books, read them, pass them on to somebody else. I may possibly sign the inside of the cover of them just for nostalgia. But I want to send them to somebody that would like for the insight. I want to give it to somebody that maybe it'll help you understand spiritual warfare if you're interested in that thing. If you're not interested in reading, if you're not interested in spiritual stuff, this ain't going to interest you not one bit. So email me if you would like to be entered into a drawing. I'm going to give these books away. I'll box them up and send them to whoever wins them. And as I find stuff, I think I'm going to start doing a little more of this, not as a gimmick to grow the channel. I ain't doing it for any of those reasons. I just want to give back to people. I have a lot of people that send me stuff, and I love to go to thrift stores, and I find odd and end stuff that I look at it and go, well, I don't need that. I got one of them, or I got that. It's like these books. I picked them up. When I seen them the other day, I was like, I'll find somebody to give them to. And then it rung a bell. I was like, you know what? I can give them away on the channel, and maybe they'll help somebody. So if you're interested in these two books, email me. And we're going to do just like we did here. We'll put the names in a hat. Everybody that emails that just subject, say I'm interested in the books, or I would love to read those books, whatever. So just so you know, they're a fictional tale. This is not real, but it is based on reality. And it tells a story of a battle between good and evil, people struggling with things going on in that town, and it relates how things in that town are happening because of a lot of it has to do with demonic worship that's going on this college campus between some faculty and big money people that's moved in, and it shows how they are being influenced by evil spirits to make them do this stuff, and it pulls everything together, and it will help you understand what is going on in our world today. I think these books are very relatable to modern day life. So just for that, Brian Glenn, them shrimp is ready. I done stuck them in the oven. I'm going to wait till Michelle gets here to eat them, so I don't know when I get to eat. I really was going to let her come in and make some noodles, pasta, or something to go with it. I don't know what time my birthday party will be over. So, next order of business. Y'all, I have been stretching on this otter. I have never gotten an otter to come out this soft. I made a arrow quiver out of the last one I done, and y'all, that thing was so stiff. Now, it is a doozy to turn one of these because they're very thick hides to turn them back right side out. So I have not turned this one back right side out since I have been tanning on it. And I'll be honest with y'all, I can't hardly stretch it bigger around. I tried. I can stretch it long ways, pulling it across stuff, and I tried to stretch it around, but they in other words, what I'm telling you is it'll shrink a little bit up this way. Brian Glenn said she's eating cake and ice cream now. Yeah, you're probably right, and probably won't bring me not one bit. Brody left with his Nerf guns. He was strapped, loaded for bear when he left him. They was gonna have a Nerf gun war. So, I don't know. I'm curious to find out how that turned out. If I hadn't been gonna go live already, I would probably have went, but we really forgot about it. Actually, we thought it was tomorrow. And then when we realized it was tonight, I was like, well, I'm out. I like to do my lives. Y'all, I don't know if I'm going to get that turned. I did. I got it. Look at him. So the mouth, obviously, I stretched it out of whack. I always do, which it probably ain't really stretched that much. I mean, he's got to get a big old fish in his mouth. For a grinnell head to go in there, it's got to open up pretty good. So, it's not just like the limbers. You see, there is some stiff spots, but it's not crackly stiff. It's just, I guess, cause it is thick. I mean, it is a lot. And this down here where I could really work it is fairly soft. So see, right in here where the legs are, I'm getting, and there's the leg holes, I am getting some, but the tail, y'all look at that. That is as good as I've ever had an otter to come out, because I got a big old thick hide. So y'all, I'm a mite proud of my otter hide. I don't know what I'm gonna make out of it. But I've got some more hides I got to tan. Read back through some comments. Cindy, my email is justinpeden@gmail.com. That is JUSTINPEDEN Um, and that's at gmail.com, by the way. I don't know what I'm going to make out of it. I've got an arrow quiver made out of one. I've got another one in my shed down there that is very stiff. I've thought about re-soaking it and re-tanning it and doing it like Mike did the buckskin the other day. Make a hat like old Jeremiah Johnson. Didn't the guy on Mountain Men, didn't he wear an otter hat? Somebody wore an otter hat, and one of them may have been in that the otter hat. That was by Nate King. Wore the otter hat in that series I read. Well, I hadn't read it right now. I've been reading the Golden Hawk series. There's 9 books of it. I've been listening to them. But they're written by David Thompson. The Wilderness series. The Mountain Man's Nate King. And I think they were 60-something books, right at 70. And I think he wore a otter hat. So I don't know what I'm going to make out of this. I've got excited about getting back towards my mountain men style stuff. I don't think I'm a mountain man. I ain't even a mountain around here. But just the hide tanning and that nostalgic lifestyle, I try to blend that stuff with modern day. I am not a purist in any way, but I do think the importance of tanning hides and making stuff out of the hides is very important and needs to be kept alive, and we need to continue to do it and use that stuff modern day. I mean, you can make any bags and leather stuff you want out of your own hides. That is the purpose for doing it. So I believe all that needs to be kept alive. And y'all, it is very hard to do. It has took me a long time to learn how to do it. Just because you watch somebody do it on a video don't mean you know how to do it. It's like making primitive fire. I've watched hundreds of videos of Canterbury and Bearded Green Beret and all these guys doing this primitive fire, and you think, man, there ain't nothing to that. I see what they're using. And then you go out here and try to replicate that in the wild, and it's mighty near impossible. So you have to practice and do that stuff to figure out really how to do it. And this hide tanning is very much the same way. My biggest problem with hide tanning at first was I never fleshed stuff good enough. I would somewhat flesh it, and a fox is hard to do. Now, I did my fox the other day, and it turned out all right. Skin side, the color was dark, but it got that dark color hanging up outside out there on a board. Had I dried it in my shed, it probably would have been okay, but I didn't. And it got mold on it, basically. So I put that on there, and I could right now spray some bleach or something on it and take a lot of that color out. I don't know, but anyway. Well, Miss Mary Anderson, here you come riding in on a horse. Do you have any idea what has just transpired on here? She has no idea. Does anybody want to tell her? She comes in completely clueless. So what I am going to do is I've got to tan several more hides. I've still got to make a buckskin jacket. Cornmeal on hides. I may do something with that hide, but I have got several deer hides right now in the freezer I have got to get out. Miss Mary, you have won yourself a meat cleaver. I've got several deer hides I got to tan. I've got a couple of beaver hides in there, and I really don't know what else is in my freezer that needs tanning. I tanned this right here, y'all, with the orange bottle. Some of you seen it. I didn't do a how to tan video because I really wasn't sure how it was going to turn out. But I soaked it down twice. So one of my biggest problems to begin with starting to tan hides is I never fleshed stuff good enough. Flesh it really, really good, and then apply plenty of tanning solution. Whatever you're tanning with, do it twice. apply that stuff and let it soak in there, and even stretch it a little bit, and then dampen it and apply some more, because you can't over put tanning solution in there. The old saying is every animal has enough brains in its head to tan its own hide. So it'd say, so every animal's got enough brains to save its own hide. I am going to try to tan some of this stuff. So now the next big thing I wanted to share with you. We had to run to town today. She started a baking apparatus here. While we this time of year, our pottery slows down a little. It don't run out. We don't like get without work, but we have slow periods. So it's good for me because it gives me time to catch up on some knives I need to make, and odd and end other stuff, projects I need to do, and we keep enough work to keep the bills paid. So I try to make a few knives to sell and help keep those bills paid. But we had to go to town. She was wanting to start doing some baking, selling some bread. She's figured out how to bake pretty good, and doggone the rolls she made, after you eat them, you ain't gonna eat them none from Walmart's. So I went with her to Walmart today, and I said, I want to go by Lowe's. And I went to Lowe's and I got me another 12 by 15 canvas drop cloth. I already have one 12 by 15. So the Teepee is what is in the works. I'm going to start filming that probably next week. I don't know how long it'll take me to film this. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just going at it. That's how I do everything. So what my plan is I'm going to take these two 15 by 12 drop cloths, sew them together. I'll wind up them with 15 by 24. I'm going to draw my shape out on the ground of a half moon across that thing and cut it out and hem that, and then I'm going to take the parts I cut off and make me some smoke flaps. I'll cut them out, sew them onto the other side, and then I'll have to cut my door out and hem that. So there's going to be a lot of sewing into this. Once I get it sewn like I wanted to, I'm probably going to attempt to paint some designs on it. I really would love to have my logo, this, painted on it, but I seriously doubt I can pull that off. There's a lot of detail in that, and then the lettering on it is a trip, so I doubt that's going to happen. I don't see any way to really do that, but I may let Brody put his handprints on there. I may put my handprints on it. Just some odd and end designs to give it a Native American theme, but not, I don't want to paint like Native American pictures on there. I want stuff that's relative to my life and what we're doing here. And, you know, we maybe put YouTube on it. I don't know what we're going to do. I'll figure this out as I go. I do have a stencil. I could paint this small somewhere on it, so I'll probably attempt that. But once we get it decorated, then I'm going to mix probably, and if somebody's got a better idea, I'll try that. I want to waterproof it, or at least make it water resistant. And the boiled linseed oil and the beeswax and turpentine mix is really, really heavy. I have done that on a bed sheet, and it makes it entirely too heavy. So I'm going to do the way I did a bed sheet, where I mixed silicone and paint thinner together. And instead of me trying to mix all that in something and dip this big teepee in there, I'm just going to spread this out on the clothesline or on the ground or somewhere, and I'm going to spray it with a sprayer. My dad has a sprayer that goes on an air blower. It's basically an air blower with a siphon hose on it. It's like a trigger. And he uses it to spray like Thompson's water seal and stuff like that on the wood. I'm going to try that. So let me check on my coffee here. So anyway, y'all, the teepee is coming up in the works. It'll probably take me a while to do that. So what my plan is to erect this teepee when it is finished right over here. I'm going to cut and peel some logs, poles for it. I'm going to stain them or at least seal them with oil or something to preserve them where they don't rot. All the other ones I have done have rotted. I have built teepee poles twice, and all of them, some of them still, the ones I peeled that's down at the camp, I'm still using them, but some of them rotted. So I think they need some kind of sealant on the poles. Once it's done, I'm going to put it up out here where me and Brody can camp on it. I want to be able to film out here, build a fire in front of it. And then I may take it down there to the campsite. I may take it, and really I would love to eventually go to some of these mountain man rendezvous, places they set up and just sit there and cook and hang out and have a good time. I don't really want to go trying to sell nothing or be anything. I just want to go and see what it's like. Walk around and see what everybody else is doing and what everybody else has got. And, you know, just to go put it up. And I think it would be cool to take the TP and set it up somewhere. So, I don't know. Did I mess up, Amy? Did I mess up? I think, Mary Anderson, your name is on there. I think it is Mary Anderson because it shows up in my emails under Hoffman. So I do think this is the same. I think I got it right. Oh, because I did know this. Michigan Prepper, I filmed the muzzleloader putting that barrel in today. I'll probably edit that video tonight and have it up tomorrow, most likely. Yeah. Yeah, Amy, this is still, it says Mary Hoffman on here, but I'll let Mary explain that to y'all. Her email shows up different, but I did know it was her, and I wrote it Hoffman, but in my mind I knew it was her. So anyway, we straight. I had to double check though. The last thing I want to do is mess up now, and I'm good at that, y'all. Don't never think that I ain't. Don't ever think that I don't make no mistakes. I've made quite a few. They say the art to being a good craftsman is not that you don't make mistakes, but you get good at fixing them. So when you make plenty of mistakes, you got a better chance of learning how to fix them. But yeah, I did film the putting the barrel in the muzzleloader. So we will be working on getting that muzzleloader right. In other words, finding what grain of powder it likes, finding what, last year when I couldn't get one to shoot, and then I had to struggle with all the people that just said I didn't know how to shoot, and I just couldn't hold the rifle straight while it was scattering everywhere. I just quit, I was like, all right, I'm done with it. Rodney Dunaway, the canvas I'm starting with is 15 by 24. So we're looking at a 15-foot tall TP with 24 foot around it. Now, I don't know how far that is going to be, like diameter across it. I will have to figure all of that out. I may get me a tape measure, cut me a 24-foot piece of string and put it in a circle out here, and we'll stand there and look at it and go, I want it big, though. I want it big. So we're looking at 15-foot TP canvas. I'll need at least 18-foot poles cut. So probably what I'm going to do this week, I'm going to let Michelle take the part of sewing the two together. She said I can sew them together pretty quick. So I'm probably gonna let her sew the two canvases together before I ever start filming. I'm not gonna film her sewing. And I will do some of the sewing, but I'll do more of the hand sewing, like putting on my tie outs and such as this stuff. I don't know how to use no sewing machine. I'm sure I can learn. Um, so what I want to do is make it as nice as I can. I want it big enough that I can put a fire in there. I'm just gonna put it up right now with the 2 or 3, 4 inches off the ground, whatever it has to be. And then eventually I'm gonna come in and add the 3 or 4 foot skirting around the inside, hopefully before cold winter, where we can stay in it through the winter. And here's my deal. I think it'll look cool just right out here in the yard. I can put a fire in there. I can go in the house to get stuff to cook. We can just camp out in it, have a good time in it. If it's right here in the yard, Brody's more apt to stay in it than us leaving. And then I'll have the thing up to where, hey, if I want to load it up, I'll have to come up with me a way to haul 18-foot poles. But then I would like to take off and go camp out somewhere with it. How cool would it be to drive up to the campsite at the campground somewhere like at Pickinsville and Tom Bigby River, and I could put the poles in the boat to haul them there and get out there and erect a teepee, instead of getting in a camper. That would just be the coolest thing to me. So we looking at probably, since it ain't square, you probably gonna get 7, possibly 8 foot across it. Maybe, I don't know. I'll just have to see. I have been fascinated with TP, and y'all, here's the next thing. I really need to research, I guess, and do some looking, because for another $40, I could add another 12 foot to it. So does anybody have any experience in this? This is a question. I've looked at a lot of videos. I've seen one man on YouTube that has built his own, but I really don't know how. There's a lot of stuff that's left in the dark. You just don't. If you watch somebody do something, and it's hard to get every detail and everything they done. So yeah, pi is like 312 or 314, something like that. So, but now 8 foot across the teepee is still pretty good size. But it would really be cool if it was a lot bigger than that. I don't know. I got some deliberation to do. Friendship, Indiana. I wouldn't mind going, but I probably wouldn't carry a gun to shoot. They say they won't let you blow down the barrel of a muzzleloader, places like that. So that rules me out. If I shoot it, I'm blowing down the barrel. And it's just gonna happen. It makes some folks mad. I don't know why it bothers them so. 7.65. 7 foot really ain't that big on the inside of a teepee. I may want to go bigger than that. I may want to go. I've got two 15 by 12s. I really wanted to do 15 by 30, which is only 6 more foot. 6 more foot's not going to add a whole lot. So if I added another whole 12 foot to it, 3 times 12 is 36. So 36 foot around, what will that come out to be? Far North Bushcraft, I have heard of that guy. In fact, I've probably watched some of his videos because what I'll have to do is I'll have to take the next 2 or 3 days and do some hard research on it because I mean, the worst thing in the world is to put a whole bunch of work into something and then when you get it up and go like, oh man, this ain't what I want. I mean, if you buy Teepee, you're looking at $800 or $900 on the cheap. Most of them are about $1,200 for a Teepee canvas. You send it to you and you put it up. That's if you buy, you cut your own poles. And ordering poles from somebody is kind of foolish for somebody like me that can go out here and cut. But now my problem is I'm most likely going to have to use sweet gum. I would love to use pine, but I don't know anywhere that there is a young pine thicket. Everything is like clear cuts right now where they're just grown up in jungles. There's no like somebody's got pines that's the right size. These used to be, but all of my stuff has done gotten too big. I may could find some if I looked hard enough. I'll have to see. 11 for a 36 long. That's more about what I want to do. I probably need to buy another canvas. I think that's what I want to do. Diana, if that air conditioner don't fit in the top, we can set it in the door on the cooler and plug it up. Hey, I'll tell y'all why I'm fascinated with a teepee, though. I don't like to be cold. Now, I can put on plenty of clothes, but I want to get in there and build a fire on the inside of it. That is my whole deal. I want a fire pit in the middle of my teepee, smoke rolling out the top where it'll draft right. The other one was big enough for me to just go down there and camp out in. It was cool. And it was probably about 6 foot across was about it. So anything would be an improvement with that. But I never could get it to draft right. And it's because it was sealed to the ground all the way around. And I couldn't get it. And it was too stiff and heavy to do a whole lot with. Yeah, I'm down. I'm going to definitely do that. Keith, we don't have enough cedar around here to use cedar poles. Cedar would be ideal. We've got yellow pine, but now yellow pine is heavy. I'm probably going to wind up using sweet gum because I have got a lot of sweet gum back there. But I'll go back here for the next few days. I'll spend, like I said, I'll spend the days harvesting my poles and getting them all peeled, and this ain't gonna be no overnight project. I mean, we're not gonna have no teepee built here in the next few days. I'll start filming on it as I do it, but I'll be working on it probably a little here, there, and yonder. But I want to get it set up where we can cook out there and camp out in it. And so, but I'll get peeling my poles and let Michelle sew the canvas together. And when I get all the canvas sewed, I'll film me drawing a design out on it and all of that stuff. But I got a lot of research to do. Yeah, if I'd went 12 foot tall and sewed them together the other way, it would be 30 foot by 12 foot. And but I don't know if 12 foot is tall enough. I think I want bigger. I think I want to add the third canvas. Fireplace? No, I'll dig a small little old pit in there. I may lay some of these rocks around it or something, but we ain't gonna get extravagant in it. We don't have any cypress around here to cut. There's cypress down in that swamp, but what's down there, you are forbidden to cut. They clear cut all the cypress out of there years and years ago, and it is mostly oak, and there's some cypress right in the water, some of them giant cypresses. Probably the best thing that's down there is the poplar or tupelo gums. There's a lot of tupelo gum that's light, but all of them is big trees. it gives you an idea. Move the kids out of the house for the summer. I think I'm probably gonna wind up just buying a third canvas. It was like $40, but what's 40 more bucks? I mean, at this point, to get what you want, I want to build something that I'm gonna have a while. So I think that is a route I want to go. What kind of paint can I paint on the canvas? Any kind of acrylic paint should be able to paint on it. The Western Indians lived in their chimneys. I imagine that's about what this is going to be. The one that I built out of the trucker's tarp down there, I had to sleep. The smoke was coming out the door of it. I had to stay laid down to smoke. It was like sleeping in a smoker. You could have hung meat in there and cured it. Hey, that gives me an idea, don't it? I could put me a rack up high up there and lay my jerky up there, and that's how I make my jerk venison. That's what they called it on there. Yeah, I want the height, because one thing, the height is gonna help the smoke draft, and I want to go big. I mean, if we're gonna do this, I want people when they drive by to look up there at the house. That's one thing, and say that old boy has done built a teepee in the yard. I mean, if we're gonna film it and put it on YouTube, let's just go all out. Because it's going to be the same amount of work either way. And I don't use water-based. But now, laser at it, I am going to seal over it with silicone. But I don't know that the dew and all, I mean, there's a lot of dampness that could happen to this paint. So, yeah, I don't know what I'll have to look. I don't know what I need to use for paint. I know they got dyes, but I hate to, and I'm not going to cover it. I want it to be white for the most part. I just want to paint. I want to let Brody put his handprints on there. But you don't want to put that Ritz dye on your hands. I may have to let him put his handprint over there and then put something over it special right there over that paint. I don't know. Somebody will come up with an idea. Lazy, and I'd have to come all the way over there to Georgia and haul cypresses back. I don't know. I'd have to get a trailer, I reckon. Huckleberry, your neighbor built a huge one. What's his measurements on it? Cindy, what is fabric paint? See, I'm not up on all this stuff. Can you go to Walmart and just buy a fabric paint and it pretty well be waterproof? Don't wash out? I'll tell y'all this. I have took spray paint and I cut a stencil out and spray painted a sweatshirt when I was in high school, and I still got it in there. Now you barely see the logo now, but you can still see it. And I used just old black spray paint, and it's been through the washing machine a number of times. That's been 20 years. So I guess I could use Rust-Oleum spray paint. Yeah. And I may do that. I've got a stencil made where I painted my truck. Y'all seen my logo on the side of my truck? I can at least do that to the side of the Teepee. But I would really like to have one like this big around. Oh, Lord. Yeah, we're going to need a ladder to assemble it. Most definitely. Yeah, I'm going to definitely coat the whole thing when I get completely done with it with silicone. I'm going to get me a 5-gallon bucket, and I'm going to put about 2 gallons of paint thinner in it, or at least a gallon, and probably 2 gallons. Probably need 2 gallons. And I think I mixed a to a tube of silicone. And I looked today, that silicone is $7 and $8 a tube, some of it $10 a tube for clear silicone. So is there something other than tube silicone? Can you buy silicone in some kind of a bucket somewhere in a larger quantity for this kind of application? Because when I done the bed sheet, I mixed 1 quart of paint thinner to 1 tube of silicone, and I dipped that in there. But now this, I'm gonna spray it, so I'm only gonna do one side of it. The paint thinner obviously is just to thin it down where you can apply it. It could probably be put on there with a paint roller, if the truth be told, or brushed on there once it's that thin. So, but I figured the spraying would be. John McGraw, we've been checking the hog trap. We cut down the oats and wheat that they were eating, and they come back one night after the trap was put and walked up to the trap and left. Never went in it, and we ain't seen no fresh tracks with all the rain. But now it's a good chance that they could come back any night, because they were kind of sporadic. They weren't coming just every night anyway. So I don't know, we'll see. Well, I bet I know where there's some tie-dye paint. I bet you old J.R. Willis has got a parcel of that. Him and Nikki, they make some good tie-dyed shirts. I talked to J.R. today. They're supposed to come over here next week one day. We may all get to go grunnel fishing together again. Cynthia Hubble said, Honey Bunches of Oats used spray paint and leaves on his hunter's orange cloth vest in 95. She looks really good considering. I have used spray paint before, so we'll figure something out. One thing, I got to come up with some good ideas for designs. Like I said, I want to do Brody's handprints. I don't know how I'll get that. I'll get him hold his hand up there and spray paint around it, maybe. I don't know. If we get some kind of paint that'll come off of his hand, he can put it on there. But I want to get the logo on there. But I need some other ideas for designs. I don't know. Something that fits a teepee. I watched an old boy waterproof his jacket the other day, and he used paraffin wax. And he used a cheese grater, but now he was just doing a jacket, so he didn't need but a couple of bars of it. He grated it all over his jacket, heated it up with a heat gun, and melted it into the outside of it. Worked good, so yeah, wear a latex glove. I don't know if I got any that small. I got some that fit my hand. We're going to figure something out. We'll find out a way to do all of this. But I am excited about the teepee. I just always have been fascinated with the teepee, which none of the Native Americans in our area, the Choctaw Nation is what's here, I don't know that they ever use teepees. I haven't. It's not like you don't see them on their reservation and all that stuff. Like when they do their traditional old ceremonies and stuff, I've never seen them use any teepees. They built the mounds here, but they didn't live in them. I don't know what they built for shelters. I've got some neat's foot oil. I don't think I got any mink oil. I may have some. I know I got some teak oil. I got several different kind of oils down there I used on stuff. I had some marshmallow plant and it got cut down. It was on the bank of a branch down here, and one of the neighbors cleans up to it, and he cut it all down. So I lost that. Martin, yeah, they have a sheet that goes to the ground on the inside that comes up 3 to 4 foot, and that way that keeps cold air from coming across on the bottom, and it makes it rise, and that is what helps give it its draft in the winter. And this summer I probably won't need it. You'll be wanting that draft to come through under the bottom across the floor and cool you off, but um yeah, I'll be adding that probably by fall. I'll buy some more canvas. All of that stuff won't have to be waterproof. See, it'll be on the inside. Now it may get damp and stuff, but it is not what's primarily shedding water out. Um, all right, y'all. I'm fixing to have to go. Let me get my bug zapper and hang it up out here. Get wound up about. All right, y'all. I got my bug zapper. I'm gonna tie it back up out here like I had it the other night. Let it hang down low, low, low. We got it hanging back there like Shorty. Low, low, low. So anyway, I like the fact that we took that thing with us up to the Smith Lake. Set it out there on the porch with us. We sat outside a lot up there, and I think my brother went and bought him one. Martin, that is a good idea too. Miss Cindy said wrap Brody's hands in plastic wrap and do each finger and then the hand and then just unwrap it when you're done. That's good. Cherokee Indians use straw and mud huts. Yeah, I knew some of them built some. Back then we had big trees and they used bark for a lot of their shelter. And some of them made them dome-like. But I don't know what we used down here. This was where the Choctaw tribe is, and I don't really know what they use. I should know, but I don't. I probably did know at one time, but I have read about so many different Native American tribes that I don't know which one done what at this point anymore. I I was reading through comments, so I get sidetracked, y'all, when I get to sit here and start reading. I'll get to reading, and then I'll just forget y'all eating up. No, not really. I fixed that to go over there and light my coffee pot back up. I'll bring y'all over here with me. I had to cut it off. I know y'all get tired of me walking off out of the camera and going on about doing other stuff, and then y'all don't never know what was what. I cut this off a while ago. I don't know why, y'all, but with this thing right here, you got to start out with it wide open for it to light and then turn it down. It's still plenty hot as far as my coffee, I think. Cowboy coffee. That is what I'm talking about right there. That's where it's at right yonder. If you ain't out there on your back porch making cowboy coffee, then what are you doing? You're missing out on the facts of life. See that going down? No, y'all can't see it because I turned y'all's heads back up, didn't I? I looked y'all up at my face, didn't I? So what I need to do is invest in me probably a different setup for regulating my gas. Daddy said I needed some needle valves. That right there will work all right, but that's still mighty hot. It don't take but a second to heat that up. Actually, I'm going to turn it off. I got to know. By the time I drink all this coffee, I'll look like Hammy on Over the Hedge. Y'all remember the little squirrel on Over the Hedge? Y'all ain't never watched Over the Hedge, have you? Yeah. Now every one of you go home and when this goes off, you'll go turn on Over the Hedge and watch. It was a cartoon. This old raccoon, he was trying to steal food from a subdivision. What it was all about, it's really explains why we trap coon. But anyway. Yeah, Randy Beeson, I didn't figure they used because see any of the hides they'd have used here, the biggest hide we could get would be deer. And I'm gonna tell you something, you had to kill you a heap of deer to make you a big enough teepee for the family to sleep in. I mean, it'd take 2 or 3 just to make enough to. Yeah, Bruce Willis was the voice on it. You know, Jimmy Potts, I don't have no idea, but I've got 2 more of these made out there that I've got to sand and cook tomorrow, and then they'll get painted. I've also got one face mug out there made, but a lady had contacted Michelle that she would like to have one and ordered one, so somebody has looked it up. Rodney said it looks like the Choctaws used wood for the sides of their shelters with thatched roofs. Martin, it's in my heart. Before my life is over, I will build a log cabin somewhere. I will build it with modern technology, as in a tractor with forks and a chainsaw. I'll use an axe on a lot of it, helping hew out some stuff, but I feel like there is a log cabin in my life if the Lord will let me live long enough to do that. Now, the world may end before all that happens, you know. Some things I can sit here and tell y'all, oh, the Lord's going to let me do this, but, you know, as far as me living to 90 years old, I can't tell you He's going to let me do that or not. I don't know. Oh, that coffee's good. It is good to sit out here, y'all, and just drink coffee and talk about dreams of the future. I'm excited about the teepee. I have been fascinated with teepees since I was a little kid. And I'll tell you one thing about it right now. Me, I love the canoes because, you know, it's somewhat Native American. It wasn't all Native American. I don't know if the white settlers already knew about canoes over or whatever, but you know, canoes, for what I do in this, they just fit this swamp because the water gets so low and it's practical. It allows you to fish a lot longer, but it's quiet. You can hunt in it, and I love the canoe. So time you pair a canoe up with a teepee, oh man, I'll have to go get my feather and hook it back to my bandana. You know, I get a lot of questions. Why you do that? I just like it. You know, they ain't no reason. It ain't decoration. It's, you know, makes people ask questions, I reckon. But it's going to take me a while to build this, but I just want a teepee because I think it'll be cool, especially with Brody coming up, to be able to, you know, like we got a real teepee, you know. I mean, we've had one a time or two, but I want a real teepee. And I want one that, hey, it's not so heavy that I can't take this thing down and carry it somewhere and re-erect it somewhere else, you know. I watched Evans up there, the bushcraft, Rocky Mountain bushcraft guy. I don't know if y'all seen him. Did y'all watch him try to erect his teepee? Now, the gray-bearded Green Beret erected one. I don't know where he got his, who made his, but he stood his up by hand, and his seemed to be about probably the size of what I'm going to build or would like to build. I really would like to have one a little bigger than what he built, but somewhere in that neighborhood. He stood his up by hand, but no, Evans up there, that guy, Ovens, Bushcraft or whatever, he struggled to put his up. I mean, they had a truck trying to pull on it and everything else, so his was like huge. I don't know if I want one that big or not. It would be cool to have one that big. So I don't know. Yeah, Diane, I can see Roscoe. Roscoe's in there laying on his back, peeping at me over the arm of the couch with his legs sticking up in the air like this. He heard me call his name and he rolled over. He's in there in the recliner. That's what he's in. He's spoiled, slam rotten. The only time he gets up and gets excited is when he hears a fork raking across a plate. He thinks he's food for him. All right, Brian Glenn, tell him to hurry up and get here. I need some noodles made to go with these shrimp I got cooked. I ain't had no supper. I ain't had no breakfast. I ain't had no dinner either. I ate a steak today. I cooked steak last night, and I had one left over. I just grabbed it up, walked around gnawing on it. That's what I ate today. Well, Martin, I can tell you this. This man's ambitions exceed his abilities sometimes, but hey, we always manage to pull something together. We got a lot of sage grass. We call it broom sage. John Thomas says occasionally a leftover biscuit along. We working on jelly. Y'all, we've struggled to get our jelly making just right. We make more syrup than we do jelly. And we've about got things remedied, but we getting a lot of plums, and I got a gallon jug full of plums in the refrigerator right now. I pick up a few off the ground every day, and I bring them up here in the refrigerator, put them in that gallon jug. We loaded with blackberries, so we fixing to make plenty of blackberry jelly and plum jelly this coming week. I bought jars. I'm going to put it all in pint jars. So we got a lot of gardening starting to happen right now. The squash are coming in. I need to go down there and do a garden update. Y'all, my squash plants is waist high. I'm trying to figure out whose comments to what. Anyway, I lost my train of thought. Sometimes my mind just absolutely goes blank. Let me tell y'all this story. I left the shed down there walking up here to get that otter hide out of the refrigerator today. The otter was I had it tanned and rolled up, the tanning solution on it, and it was in that refrigerator. And I come up here to get it, and I walked right from the shed up here. I mean, in a hurry. I was in a trot coming up in. And I got up here under this lean-to, this porch, and stopped. And I said, now what in the world I come up here to get? Just that fast it escaped me. And I stood here 15 minutes before it come to me. I said, oh, yeah, I know I was wanting to get that out of there, so... Anyway, I'm excited though about building a teepee. I really am. I want to camp out in it. I have not got to do near about as much camping as I want to do, which last year when the muzzleloader didn't want to shoot, I couldn't get one in the group. I don't know, I lost all interest. And I've got a lot of plans. I said, hey, I ain't on playing no bunch of projects, but I still need to make a bow. I finally got a muzzleloader put together, so I'm not going to have to build a whole muzzleloader. If I can get this and dialed in and getting it shooting decent. So the teepee, I think, will be a good place to set up out here that's close by the house. that I can film, like making round balls, over a fire, doing some of that kind of stuff. But I don't know. I don't know what all we're gonna get into. I don't want to go like purist. I do not want to be a living history channel. I don't. I, you know, I like making knives and I like doing stuff, but I like using modern things to do it, and I like to make things practical. And I think the teepee is a I think it fits with what I'm doing because it's mobile. I mean, as far as camping, if you with a conveyance, me pulling with a buggy and using the canoes and all this stuff, you know, you can haul that teepee around about anywhere you want to go with the right trailer. I may have to build me something that'll haul it, or use a boat trailer, or I guess just strap them into the boat. I got a 12-foot boat, but 18-foot pole's gonna be a mite long. But if you, in the winter, it don't just get bad cold. It gets really chilly, way below freezing at times in the dead of winter. But out here, if you can build a fire on the inside and burn wood in there to keep you warm, you can sleep wonderful, and that's what makes sense to me. And I see everybody last year and year before was going to these hot tents. You'll notice things are trending in the bushcraft world. Well, year before last, it was truck campers, taking camper shells and turning them into this elaborate camping thing, and everybody was building one. Last year, everybody started getting into hot tents. Everybody had to have a tent with a wood little stove in it. Man, all that stuff I don't. It's too much stuff to have to fool with. I'd rather have the teepee, build a fire in it. Hey, that is the ultimate hot tent, So, could you use any of that metal? Jim Reynolds, I have not went down there and picked that stuff up yet. You talking about you left some saw blades and stuff at the metal shop? They called and told me it was there, and I've been busy, and I went by there today, like drove to town, and it never crossed my mind. I should have went by there today and got it. I forgot about it. I may try to go down there tomorrow. I got mosquitoes literally trying to get in my coffee cup, y'all. We fixing to have to do something about the mosquitoes. They starting to get tough out here. They hadn't bothered me all year. And in the last few days, we starting to get a bunch of mosquitoes. I don't know why. I guess they just finally hatched. I need to go around all these barrels of water I'm catching and pour bleach in them. But now Brody's got a catfish in one down there, and we got a turtle up here in a swimming pool. Well, little kiddie swimming pools. Lady at the church decided we're gonna have a turtle race at the church. Have y'all ever had a turtle race at the church? I don't know if we're supposed to bet on the turtles or what we're doing, but we having a turtle race. So Brody, neighbor down there where we trapping otters, I told him, I said, well, we're halfway down here looking for a turtle, too. He called me several hours later. He said, I got you a turtle in a bucket, so we went and got it. And but we had to get us a turtle. Well, now Brody's done named the turtle. The turtle's in the swimming pool out here. He's played with it all day. So he was wanting to dip in this bucket down here and get something out of that water barrel. What about his catfish? He wanted to put his catfish in there with the turtle, because we put about this much water in that swimming pool for the turtle to get in, and then put a rock for him to climb up on. Well, we finally found a catfish. Catfish is live, doing well, but now what I was going to mention is that catfish in there will eat all them mosquito larvae. It's, we call them wiggle tails. I don't know what y'all call them, but you got the little swimming things in there that hatch into mosquitoes. Well, them other rain barrels, I usually go around occasionally this time of year and pour a cup of bleach in them, and it'll kill all of that stuff. But I don't want to kill the fish, so I guess he's probably eating all the wiggle tails out of that one. What do y'all call them things? We call them wiggle tails. I know that ain't the scientific name for it. I can assure you that. When you get somewhere you can't remember why you went there, it's called destination. have a frog jumping. John Thomas, I'll suggest that one. I'll tell you, though, where we had the frog jumping contest was last night in the bathroom. I was sitting out here in this hammock, stretched out with my book in my hand, and I mean, they was in this struggle. These two girls done got up in the loft of the cabin, was hiding. They was camping with these folks, and they was out there at the canyon, and Zane Grey wrote this book, it's a deer stalker. And I was in the middle, I was trying to figure out what was fixing to happen. It was fixing to go south in a hurry. And here Michelle comes to the door and said, there's a frog in the bathroom. She said, I was fixing to get the tub frog. I don't know who was jumping the most, her or the frog. But anyway, it was exciting. Frog still in the bathroom, mind you. He was a little old bitty green frog. He wasn't big as your thumb, but he got wedged up in a crack up there, and the only way I was going to get him out was to take my knife and dig in there, and I didn't want to kill a poor frog. I said, he ain't going to hurt nothing. Michelle said, well, if he'll stay up there, he'll be all right. So when I went and got my shower several hours later, he was still there, so I hadn't looked today. He's somewhere in there. With the rim off of an old wagon. Well, you got that right, Jim Reynolds. Yeah, the ring around it. Yeah, that is good still. We'll be making knives out of that most likely. Yeah. Well, Grateful Ed, I'm gonna tell you what I told Brody ought to do to win that dead blamed turtle race. I said, we'll catch us an armadillo. And we'll take it up there. It's got a shell on the back, and you just tell him I thought this was a turtle. And I promise you he'll be the fastest thing there. And we'll just turn him loose in the parking lot when all them women get out the door. We'll get over there in the middle and open a box up and turn him loose. It'll be like a squirrel that went berserk down there for old Ray Stevens. I imagine we'll have a shout down right there in the parking lot. Oh, Lord. Garlic oil will keep the mosquitoes away. I don't know if I got any garlic oil. I got some sesame oil over here. I got some motor oil. I'll have to look and see. That frog ain't made a sound in there that I know, but now I'm hard of hearing. He could have been in there hollering his head off and I wouldn't have heard it. Well, Matt, you talking about angelfish, love them. Michelle, reason I mentioned the fish, Michelle's telling about Brenda Gant. She watches her, Brenda Gant, she'll go live at 4:30 in the morning and go to cooking, before anybody's out of the bed. And there'll be 1,000 or 2 people watching her at early in the morning. But anyway, she's got goldfish in all of her rain catching barrels. And that's what they in there for, is to eat the mosquito larvae. Kate, I hadn't tried to cook any pasta at all. And I'm pretty good at cooking Roman noodles. I got a lot of practice back in my younger days because that's the only thing we knew you could take camping was Roman noodles and them hot link sausages. But now, I'm going to tell you them hot link sausages done put a hurting on me. Michael Williams said to put large enough bamboo is plenty strong enough to hold a teepee up. That ain't a half bad idea. My problem is I ain't got none right here immediately. But now I'll tell you this. If you know somebody that's got bamboo on their place, they don't mind you cutting all of it you want to cut. I ain't never known somebody that got mad and said, they cut my bamboo down. That stuff will take over a place, y'all. I was going to plant some back here because I wanted it, for when I got ready to make a project, I'd have some. My daddy said, son, don't you bring it. Oh, Lord. Bats and purple martins. We got plenty of martins, and they have held these mosquitoes at bay. we just have had a large hatching here recently, I think. And they not just terrible out here. Like, they ain't eating. You don't see me steadily slapping and beating myself. So, uh, yeah, I figured that pasta had to be about like Roman noodles. You just get that water heated up and cook it. I just hadn't ever done it. She was going to add some kind of, after she cooked it, that, pasta, something on it. I don't know what she was going to do. Anyway, I put it all in the oven in there. She can straighten it out when she gets here. Oh Lord, but we got a lot going on. I've got a beautiful hickory stave I got down, and got my little beaver craft hatchet after I got through filming the video where I was barefooted with an axe and getting everybody all worked up. I come up here and started trimming on one of my hickory bow staves. Now, I've got a hickory stave that is pretty well made. I filmed some video on. I don't even know if I still got the footage. I started last year and I was going to char it, and I stopped there. So I may like pick up on one of them and film working on some of them bows here for long. I would love to get me a bow made that I could actually, that shoots good. I have made 2 complete bows that I've got strung up that do shoot, but they don't shoot good. So with the Teepee deal all going, we need a bow to shoot, which I've got the recurve, but I'm talking about, one we made. I don't have no problem. A lot of people fuss about that Amazon, that Black Hunter bow, but that is, for $100 bow, y'all, you can't go wrong with that thing. And you can change your limbs. I mean, there's a lot it'll do. Is it as good as some of the other trad bows? Absolutely not. But for $100 bow, it'll do everything you need to do. You know what I'm saying? Larry Alexander, we need to go on a worm grunt, don't we? We need to film a worm grunt here. I have done some worm grunting. First thing you need to know about worm grunting is you got to get where there is worms. You can't worm grunt out there on top of that clay hill where there ain't no worms. Won't work. But if you get down in there where there is some worms in them low areas where they eating leaves and trying to help compost stuff that is composting and they working and eating, it ain't very hard. I have heard of people taking a handsaw and hammering a stick in the ground and just rubbing that handsaw back across the ground. And them things will just come up on top of the ground. I got a blowgun, Jason. I have got a blowgun I bought in Cherokee when I was a kid, and it actually works pretty good. And I cut bamboo last year. I was going to attempt to make one, and I never could make it happen. I left it laying out there, and it bowed. And it's very hard to take a piece of bamboo and clean it out slick down through there without splitting the side. And if you ever split the side, well, then the air goes out the side and you lose a lot of power. So PVC pipe would be the obvious answer, but PVC pipe is a bit flexible, and if you ain't careful, your shot's off. I have got a little short blowgun, them commercial deals, but I hadn't never even got any darts for it. I just kept it because Brody might want it. We're probably going to work on the slingshot. I love a slingshot. And we talked about this on live here a while back. And I got out and started shooting it occasionally, and then I laid it down. I ain't picked it up in a while. But I need to find some really good rubber to make slingshots out of, because Brody's interested, I think, now in a slingshot. And my mama found some I had made when I was a kid and gave to us, and they down there in the shed. And but I need to do some videos on some of that stuff this summer. But I get so much ideas going on. Right now, the garden's fixing to take priority. They probably going to see a lot of gardening in the next little while. But we're going to take a break and shoot the muzzleloader one day next week, because I'm excited about it. I like to keep everything broke up as much as I can, where you don't just get overwhelmed with one thing and get, burnt out on the same thing over and over. But I gotta get all my canning done as it comes in. Now we're gonna be a while on peas and stuff. I mean, my peas is struggling. Mix up water and dish detergent and pour it where the worms are, and they'd come right up to the surface. I have never heard that one now. Oh, you know, you could probably cut some of that bamboo over there. And I know a place on the side of the road over here I could cut some, but my problem is stopping there and cutting it and hauling 18-foot poles back to the house. That's where my challenge is gonna be. But no, I doubt you stop anywhere and cut bamboo, anybody'd have a problem with it. I really don't. If they do, they've lost their mind. If they see you out there cutting that bamboo off that place and they say, hey, you can't do that, they crazy as a bat. But there's probably somebody just that way, you know. I'm reading back through. Mark Melzer, the Hereafter. I heard Jerry Clyworth tell that one. That is a good one about the Hereafter. Surgical tubing works good for a slingshot. Well, I've got two hickory staves. That is what I'm fixing to work on. We're gonna make probably one, just make a hickory bow because I need to get back to rhythm. I have got several Osage staves, but they were old fence posts, and I have yet to make a good Osage bow. But I wanted to make a good hickory bow and get comfortable with it and know what I was doing before I went back to working with the Osage again. I know how to make a bow. In other words, mentally, I understand it. I know what's doing, but making it happen is tricky. In other words, just like primitive fire, I know in my mind how to make primitive fire, but it took me several times before I really figured, oh, okay, little things will throw you for a loop, you know. Jim Reynolds said you got all the bamboo. I'm trying to decide if bamboo's really what I want to use or not. I do believe it would work and be plenty strong and you know, it would solve a lot of the having to peel poles but it might take a lot of the fun out of building this, Reagan. Why does my chat disappear like this? There we go. Larry, yes, the muzzleloader is a 50 caliber. I took an Investa Arms rifle, pulled the barrel out of it, sanded it open, and put a Thompson Center Renegade barrel, 1-inch barrel into it. Both of them had a hook breech. Now the Thompson's, the Investa Arms barrel won't go in the Thompson Center because of the side lock plate is too thick on it. Now I could modify it and make it work, but that barrel ain't no good. I put the, I tell you what I'm gonna do now. I put the barrel back in the CVA Hunter Hawken, and it's the one I'm probably gonna sand out smooth because I can't do nothing else with it, and make a shotgun out of it. We may do that video over in Lake closer to slippery elm bark infusion. Saw a guy use a battery and stakes to get worms up. Nah, that's a new one on me too. I figured he was trying to get the rust off of them. Freezer jam. I have never heard of freezer jam. I like jam because the last few times we've tried to make jelly, it turns out to be jam, and I jam it on a biscuit and it's pretty good. But and I tell you what, if you make some jelly This is a secret now. I wouldn't just tell anybody this. But if you're making jelly and it don't turn out to be jelly you picked, and you don't get it hot enough right after, or you don't put it in at the right time and it don't gel up, it stays like a syrup, it's ideal for ice cream. Let me tell you, Han, it's ideal for ice cream, so don't throw it away. We ain't wasted nothing. We ain't hurt a thing. And did I mention that I really like ice cream? Hey, if somebody don't like ice cream, I look at them like this. I ain't sure about somebody that says they don't. Now, I understand these people say, I like it, but I can't eat it. That's different. We're not talking about them kind of people, I'm diabetic, or I've got these health, I got blood, whatever. I understand that you can't have it. We just saying people that say, I don't like it. Come on now. Just say I'm not supposed to have it. Doctor said I can't eat it no more. Right? I'm having fun with it. There's probably somebody out there that said, I don't like it. I know some folks, and it don't matter what you say or like or do, they gonna be opposite. It don't matter if you tell them, hey, I like it cold, and they go, I can't stand it cold. I want it to be hot. If you like it hot, well, I like to be cold. It don't matter what you for, they again it. Jason McAllister, what happened with my beauty berry jam last year? Well, our beauty berry jam turned to jelly too, but now my buddy up in Oklahoma, Mike Guerin, sent me several jars, and I worked it over pretty good. Now he done a good job making his. You can stain the bamboo. Yeah, once it dries, Larry, I can probably put a color to it. It probably look good. And we may do bamboo. I mean, that would allow me more time to work on the canvas part of the situation. So, we might. Ryan Foster, we didn't know if he was coming or not. I tell you, the one we done got bad word about is old Tommy Litchfield. He's supposed to have his computer working, and he ain't made it. So, we may have to fire him. I don't know. He might be busy doing something else tonight. Appalachian Explorers, good to see you. I eat ice cream by the gallon too. And Michelle, I like vanilla ice cream. And the reason I like, Brody loves chocolate, but I like to bake my own chocolate. I like to put chocolate's Hershey syrup in my vanilla ice cream to make it chocolate. It's just better that way. But I like vanilla because then I can put jelly in it, anything I want to flavor it, any way I want to flavor it, and it's good. Well, she bought that, what do you call it? It's all a different kind. That I called it something. I called it that Napoleon, but it's something like that. I don't know. Anyway, she likes it. Some of them flavors in there, I don't know. Don't taste right. Oh, y'all, somebody said something about Nancy Pierce said I make a good guava, how you say that, guava jam and guava syrup. So good can it have pancakes. Anyway, Michelle she makes some of them sourdough pancake stuff. Son, she come out there with some pancakes, looked like it was that thick the other day. You had to cut through them with a fork. Man, they make your tongue reach around there and go in your ear. I mean, tongue just come out of your head and slap you to death. It was so good. Some people, complain about everything. Neapolitan, Yeah, I told her it was that Napoleon. She said, that ain't what it is. I knew I was wrong. I didn't know what it was, but I don't think she could say it either. She just knew I couldn't. Oh, I'm going to tell y'all, Bluebell makes good ice cream. Some of the best. But they too stingy to give me a plastic bucket I can put crappie fillets in, and I don't buy it just for that reason. I ain't a fooling with no cardboard tub. I know some people say, oh, that's better. Not for crappie fillets, it ain't. What y'all think about that? Shouldn't Bluebell give us, at least some of us, an option of having a plastic bucket? Because you get more ice cream in that plastic bucket. Superman ice cream. Man, I ain't never even heard of Superman ice cream. Yeah, a good bucket for worm. Man, these an ice cream bucket's got so many uses. It's like a milk jug. We don't throw either one away around here. They laugh at me about pulling milk jugs out of the garbage can, but I have to change them out, and them chicken waterers down there pretty regular, and I use them to dip water. I've got them in the refrigerator. Well, I use them, tote them around, use them to pick up plums. Lord. Oh, yeah, we make snow ice cream. Yes, sir, that's snow ice cream. They won't be snow on the hood of their vehicle around here if it snows. My daughter, as soon as she wakes up and realizes it snowed, she cleans the hood off every vehicle and takes off down to Nanny's. My mama's, they call her Nanny. And they go down, and she makes the best snow ice cream. Yeah, you have to keep, all winter, they has to be sweetened condensed milk on hand, because here you never know if it might snow or not. And when it does, it might not snow but just a little bit, and you got to clean every hood off to get a dishpan full of snow. But, hey, that's why I want to get that idea going where I go live in Montana for a while, and then when I've had enough of the snow, I come back down here in the spring, and then, when I get enough of the summer over there about July, I head on back up yonder, and I think that'd work out. I'm gonna figure out how to make that happen one of these days. Milk jugs make good scoopers. John Thomas, I'm gonna top you on that scooper here directly. Freeze fish in them milk jugs too. All right, talking about the scooper. When my daughter was very young, she was probably, I don't know, 7 or 8. I mean, she wasn't like teenager yet, but she wasn't like Brody's age either. We had some baby chickens, and we had something, I don't know. She might have been a teenager. She would have been young, though. She would have been like 11, 12 maybe. But we had a sack, and we had some baby chickens or something in the house in there and thing, and I had a sack of feed, and they had them little feeders, it's got you screw them onto the thing. Well, you had to pour that food in there, and I told her, she was like, well, how do I get in there? I said, well, just figure it out. I said, it can't be that hard. I walked off and left her with it. I could have told her, but I wanted her to realize that, I got to figure some things out for myself, so. Well, the next day I went in there, she wasn't here, and I went to feed these baby chickens, or check on them, and I looked over in the feed saying, it may have not even been the next day, it may have been several days later when they needed, I don't remember. She had took a water bottle. I wish I had one laying here where I could demonstrate. They one in this. I'll use this bottle here for demonstration. She took a Dasani water bottle. I remember it like it was yesterday. And she took one of my pocket knives and she cut a hole in it right here. Oval hole. And she could scoop into the bag that water bottle full of feed and had the top off, and it would funnel it down in that little old feeder. I didn't tell her nothing. She figured that out on my own. You talking about a daddy coming back and being so proud. My chest bowed out like that. That's my young in there. But you know, I think that's what's wrong with a lot of kids today is mom and daddy does everything for them, and they never click that, you know, I can figure things out. And you know, I probably wouldn't have figured out nothing good as what she done. I tell you what I'm going to do while I'm thinking about it. I'm going to hook this to my phone to make sure it don't die on us. Some of you probably wishing I would shut up the phone and die. But anyway, y'all stuck with me now. If you get tired of me, you just have to turn it off. Oh, built-in belt loop for berry picking. Now look him. Look him, Randall Ross. You done give me an idea. I may have to share that on YouTube. I may have to get a fresh milk jug and make Brody a belt strap. Mike Reed, good night. Thank you for hanging around with us for a little while. And y'all, if you ain't went and found Mike's new channel and subscribed to it, go. You want to be following Mike Reed. He's doing some good stuff over there. He really helped me out with that way he redone that hide, because he mixed that oil with that water and warmed it up and re-soaked that hide. And I got one or two that I held off making my buckskin jacket simply because one or two of them hides, I've already smoked them. And they really ain't, and I don't know about them being already smoked, how they gonna do, but anyway, I need to redo them. But yeah, Brandon Ross, I'm gonna have to get me one of them milk jug belt straps. That right there is a good idea. That is. Milk jugs is a plant starter. I mean, I've used milk jugs to start plants in. You just pour dirt down in the bottom, poke a few holes. Y'all have seen me do it. And you can use any of them, but good night, Mike. The milk jugs have a lot of use, and that's like the ice cream buckets, y'all. We literally got ice cream buckets that we have put berries, blueberry. My mom and them's got several huge blueberry bushes, and they load up. They make plenty of blueberries. I mean, we pick blueberries till our eyes bulge out. And we've put buckets of them in the freezer. I have put elderberries in them ice cream. So there'll be a stack of ice cream buckets off in the freezer that have all kind of berries. You got to pull the lid off to see what's in them, you know. They are 1,000 uses for that kind of stuff. And it just, what they say, it irks me for Bluebell to not give me an plastic ice cream bucket. Larry, I planted a catawba worm tree out here. I dug one up last 2 weeks ago, I think. And we've had plenty of rain, y'all. I was going to tell y'all this. I was going to tell it in a video the other day, and I think it slipped my mind, or either I didn't film that. I think I started filming and I didn't use that video clip or something. But anyway, we've been getting a lot of rain around here. It's been raining every day. Now, it did not rain today. This is the first day it's not rained here. But it clouded up this morning, and I think it probably rained in the area, just not right here. It may have not have. But the old timers always said, passed the knowledge down, that if it rains the first day of June, it'll rain for 40 days. A little rain here, there, yonder, somewhere. But for 40 days, it's going to rain a little bit every day. Have y'all heard this? Is that knowledge, is that old folklore that y'all would have heard of? I had never. My daddy told me the other day, he said, yeah, said Grandpa always, or he said his daddy always said if it rained the 1st of June, it'd rain for 40 days. How many of y'all heard that before? Well, that coffee's still warm. It ain't hot no more. I should have turned it on, warmed it back up. But also, another one that goes along with that saying is if it thunders during February, whatever day it thunders on, it'll rain or it'll frost that day in April, I think. Yeah. Like if it thunders anywhere in February, whatever day it thunders on, that day in April it'll frost. And I think that's pretty accurate, fairly, in ballpark range. Yeah, somebody told me the other day something about it would rain for 14 days or something like that if it rained on the first day. So I just hang a snake in a tree for rain. That's a new one on me there. I got a pile of mosquitoes flying around me right now. They ain't biting me though. I guess my blood tastes awful. I ain't got to worry about a bear getting me. He wouldn't eat me if he found me. If it rains on Easter, it'll rain the next 7 weekends. I've never heard that one. See, there's a lot of old folklore like that gets, these old sayings get lost. And in parts of the country, somebody does this and then this. And the old timers, they come up with that because it trended, it happened several times. And most of them used to keep records of weather patterns because, they wouldn't forecast. They had to be their own meteorologists. So we lose in a lot of that. And I've got a book in there of old folklore, country folklore. I hadn't had it out in quite a while. I need to. Well, Tommy has finally made his grand arrival. He's fashionably late again. Ryan Foster, I've heard that eating a lot of garlic would help. Blackie Thomas said that if you took a lot of B12 right before you was gonna be outdoors, that it would keep the mosquitoes from eating you up. I think I seen the lights. Brody and them must be done made it to the house. We're gonna have to see if he'll tell us about how his Nerf gun war went. If he lost or how many times he got. Well, Michael Williams, you'd think your mosquitoes would just be eating me up if it tastes like ice cream. Head back. Tommy, whoa. Tommy, what we working on tonight? Now, don't tell us you're going back out to Mechanica and not tell us what you done tore up. What have you dismantled out here in the yard and what we working on? Diana, it's rained here every day. My corn laid flat down. Come here, buddy. My corn laid flat down, but it's about stood up again.
Look at that I got.
What'd you got? Turn around where they can see it.
I got a Minecraft
Lego. You got a Minecraft Lego set. Well, look, what we want to know about is this Nerf gun war. Watch out, Roscoe.
I got shot.
Oh! Easy, buddy.
I got shot with a hard gun.
You got shot with a hard gun?
Yeah, I got shot. And I made some new friends.
You made new friends? Well, that's always good.
Yeah, they're going to be at my birthday.
They going to be at your birthday?
Yeah.
When's your birthday? You don't even know, do you? Say it's July the 17th.
It's the July 17th.
Okay, well, get over here. They can't nobody see you while you talking way over yonder. Well, tell them about your Nerf gun war. You shoot a bunch of people? You got shot?
Yeah.
Did you wear them glasses? No.
Well,
I didn't get shot in the eye.
You didn't?
Well, for the first 30 minutes, he wouldn't get off my lap, and he stood behind me like this.
He was a little bit shy there, wasn't
he? He even got behind the door and wouldn't come out in front of everybody.
Yeah, and then I suddenly played and got over there and started running and playing.
Yep, he's gone, y'all. Story's over.
He's coming back, he said.
Oh, okay. Well, y'all got to see the star of the show. I was in the middle of that. I read Tommy said, y'all please keep my family in your prayers. My cousin passed away day before yesterday. We'll be praying for you and your family, Tommy. Sorry to hear that. I know it. Anytime somebody loses a loved one, y'all, it's tough. Very, very tough. Hard to lose people. Hate seeing people have to bury folks, but y'all, I'm talking about this. I made a wisecrack sort of earlier while I was cooking about survival and air conditioning. But you know how we're gonna live without air conditioning, y'all. That's a joke in a way, but in a way, it's a serious thing. Y'all think about this, and everybody predicts, the end of the world fantasy. We all look forward to the collapse of society, and we're gonna all be without power. And the thing I struggle with, the power went off in here for 2 hours the other night, and I got my coal oil lamps down. We call them coal oil lamps. They them hurricane lamps, whatever. And I had one lantern, and I got them filled them up with kerosene. Is the only fuel that I've got here. And y'all, the wick, every time I'd turn the wick up, it burned bright for, less than 20 seconds. And it was just burning the wick up. Finally, I just cut them off, quit fooling with them. But on a serious note, if we go without power on a hot day like today in the summer here in Mississippi, our houses are not set up to be without air conditioning. I know up north it don't get that hot. A lot of those people don't even have air conditioning. But down here, you can't make it in a building that don't have air conditioning. And they're not where you can open them up that the wind can blow through. And so y'all, really seriously, how are we going to combat that? If something happens and we go 3 months without power in the deep south, I bet you 50% of the people over 65 will pass away, and probably half of the ones younger than that, because a lot of I'll say a lot of us is fat and out of shape and ain't gonna make it. We say this as a joke, really, but what are we gonna do without air conditioning? That's something to serious thing about. People my age, most of us can probably tough it out, and our bodies will adjust over time back to it. But y'all, there's a lot of people that they ain't gonna make it long enough to adjust. But it's a serious thing. It gets hot here. You be sitting in there sweating out, and a lot of you elderly people, especially those that are disabled elderly people, y'all, we're gonna bury a lot of people that we love. And I'm on a serious note. How can we combat that? Because we can only run generators and stuff like that for so long. And with solar power, how much? That's really going to be the only answer to running electricity. And I don't know if I'm... And here's the thing. One air conditioner ain't going to cool my house. A transom above windows and doors, what is this, Jeffrey? I will say that my house has got these French doors on the back, and I've got that 4-foot door on the front. I can open both of them up, but oh Lord, y'all, you know how we're gonna deal with the bugs and stuff going in there. I guess we just got to tolerate one or the other, Diana, we are converting over about the food over to canning a lot of stuff. My heart is in canning stuff. We've got a lot of stuff to freezer. We freeze a lot. We will freeze more stuff this year. But that's like last winter when the power went out for about a week and everybody was running and buying milk and loaf bread. And I'm like, why? We got to start cooking stuff out of the freezer. We not going to be eating milk sandwiches, you know. So all that stuff in the freezer is going to be eat up in the first couple of weeks. Well, if it's in the summertime in the first week, you know, and then what don't get eat up, you're going to throw away. You can run generators for a couple of weeks to save it. You can afford to do that. But if you're talking 2 or 3 months, it's not practical to run generators to keep a freezer running. It's just not practical. If we'd turn the air conditioners off, it'd be a little cooler outside. He's probably right in a way. See you later, Tommy. We'll keep you in our prayers, buddy. Get your scooter going. Get it all greased up. I am on a serious note thinking about digging me as a project in the future. I've got several big things I've got to work on first before I start another building project. But I have thought about where this hill tapers off back out here, building me a cellar, you know, dig it out and lay concrete blocks and then pile the dirt over it. Basically like a hobbit house out there. And you know, you might could tolerate being in that, but y'all, it's tough to sleep in the winter, in the summer out here with the windows up. I mean, it gets hot at night. Philip, yeah, we definitely soft. I mean, they ain't no a little bit soft. We all bad soft. We ain't nothing like a generation 100 years ago. We ain't near about close. I'll have to look into that, Jeffrey. I didn't know what. I'd never heard of transom windows. I knew they had the old window weights and stuff. You let them old windows up and down, but I didn't know about this. Well, I know my daddy talking about folks used to sleep on the porch during the summer. I know people that's talked about, you know, coming up. Larry Reese was telling me the other day about some people he knew, they all slept out in the yard in bags. The men slept outside and the women slept in the house. But my daddy talked about the wind blowing through the cracks in the walls. The houses back in was just planks and they had cracks in them and wind slammed through the house. And he said they tacked newspaper up on the wall during the winter to try to keep the snow out. And I mean, there's a lot of stuff that Lyle Yarber, I would believe that. 90 days without power and stuff. Well, here's the next thing. Here's what's going to really kill us. Aside from the air conditioning, this is just our comforts of home, those of us that can feed ourselves. Over 90% of the population, 90 days without power means you can't buy or sell anything. Because everything is a digital transaction now. You can't walk in a store with cash money with no power and buy anything anymore. Unless you're fortunate enough to have a handful of mom and pops places that says, you know what, if you got cash, come on, we'll sell you what, you know. But them places, if somebody word gets out that them places is doing that, they'll be so overrun and sold out stuff. The next thing is, how are they going to get products? They ain't going to be, you can't buy fuel. You ain't going to be able to go to a gas pump and buy gas. I mean, it's going to shut down. So yeah, in 90 days, I see more than, 20% of the population will be alive. That's about right. Losing 80%. I can see that. I really can, y'all. Because 90% of people out there can't feed themselves. Really and truly. I mean, there's a lot of us sitting here that can. And it ain't going to be easy for people like me. I hope we don't see it happen. I'll be honest with y'all. Suzanne and I have got some mosquito mesh, and I may have to take. Michelle bought one of them Velcro things, and we hung it up right here, and y'all, the dogs destroyed that right straight. It was one of them had the magnets down the center. She found it, one of them as seen on TV deals. And well, the Velcro tape that we stuck around the door, it peeled off. It wouldn't stay up there, and then when it fell off, and the bugs all stuck to it. And it was the biggest mess, and we still got it. I say we do. I don't know what we done with it, but anyway, it was nice there for a while, but I don't know. We're gonna have to figure. No, and Jeffrey, my water source is not a long term. I mean, it's drinking water. They ain't gonna be no going to get water to bathe and all this, which I've got a lot of water caught up in this rain catchment stuff. I've got some water, but it ain't potable water. Now, I could make it potable water. I mean, by all means, I can filter it out, clean it up, and boil it, and get it where I can drink it if I need to. But just going out there and dipping it, drink it, I'll go down there to that well that I hand drilled, and I can get several gallons of water out of it. Probably 10, maybe 15 gallons, but that's about all that's in it. And I probably need to figure out drilling me a deeper well, but I don't. He'll say at least he won't have the weed eat. I don't know, you might have to. You might be crawling around with a pair of scissors cutting around the house, where you can get in and out the door. Keith said, got our first air conditioner when I was a boy, slept under it the first night, woke up sick as a dog. I could see that. I really can. My problem, Ryan Foster, is I ain't even got an attic. My ceiling is vaulted. Yeah, that medication, Jeffrey, is going to be a killer. That's why we learning medicinal plants. And they're going to have to, but, I mean, very few of us can figure that out. And the trick to medicinal plants is you got to be able to accurately figure out yourself what's wrong with you and what plant you need to doctor that with. I can sit here and tell you this plant does this, 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 and this, and this, and go down a list of plants. But for you to figure out, okay, this is what's wrong with me, and this, so I can figure out that's a trick within itself. The new book over here, and speaking of that, this yellow copy that I've got of this Herbs for You, in my opinion, is the best book to help you with that. Oh. Lowell Yarber, I told a man today I was talking to on the phone about, we was talking about medical problems and not being afraid. I told him, I said, I'm not afraid to die. I'm not, I don't want to die, but I ain't afraid to go. I ain't going to the doctor for stuff that, I don't know what it is. Could be bad, may not be bad at all. I ain't going to no doctor. Just ain't going. Till I'm getting in dire pain and I need some relief, I ain't afraid to die. I don't want to die, but I'm going to tell you this. He was like, well, he said it. His words was, he said, well, it's better than the alternative. I was like, so we're choosing, how did I put it? Talking about dying is like living or either paradise, basically. Whatever the option was in paradise. It was like paradise is like, yeah, to die and go to heaven, be with the Lord, It's paradise. Stay here. And that's the way I look at it, you know. But anyway, this herbs for you. So you go through here and you find on the first few pages what is wrong with you. Acid, allergies, anemia, iron deficiency, antioxidants, appetite, body repair. What is on these other? Blood, autism type problems, asthma type problems, Bell's palsy, bipolar type problems, bites, insects, blood pressure high, body repair, bones, joints, muscles. So as you look, and that bones, joints, muscles has got a list. I mean, you can go through here. Well, it's got all of these lists of things that you look up. Well, it's got codes like, let's just pick one right here. Okay, right here it says rheumatism type problems. See categories titled allergies, immunity, and the green drink. The green drink is a blending up salad vegetables and drinking them. A little bit of water, put the plant material in a blender and blend it up and drinking it. Not straining it and juicing it, but drinking the plant matter. And it's supposed to do this every day, and it's supposed to purify, do a lot for you. I don't know. Anyway, it's in here. It promotes it in a lot of different things. Use the green drink for a lot of stuff. And you can use about any salad like romaine lettuce, vegetables like that you can use the green leaves. It's got a list in it. But then over at combinations AW. Okay, so you go over here to see what AW for arthritis is. To answer to the hopeless torment known to millions upon millions of people around the world awaits in the combination for it relieves, corrects, and heals, no matter what the person's age, the sore joints and muscles of arthritis, the rheumatism suburbs. The combination is alfalfa, juniper berry, dandelion root, Oregon grape, echinacea, knitbone, which is comfrey, wild rose hips, and bitter orange. So it gives you a combination of all. Well, then the next thing is you got to ramble around and find all these plants to make this combination for that. It says arthritis. So this book, if you're wanting to really figure out, you know, what all will help this particular problem, really this book is the book to have. Now, it ain't much for identifying plants. So this is the herbs for you. I can get you the PDF to this book. I printed that one out. I've got the red one printed out. I can email you the PDF. Somebody emailed them to me, and it was a godsend. So, yeah, there's a lot y'all talking about stuff like salt. I've got pool salt on hand. I got 2 or 3 bags of it. I primarily keep it here to tan hides with, but salt is salt. Now, is pool salt the ideal thing to sprinkle on your food over here to season it? Probably not. But, you know, it is salt. It will preserve things. That is why I got it here. So, anyway. Yeah, Jason, I'll send you that link back here tonight sometime or either tomorrow. I've got the PDF to it, Jennifer. The only way I know to do it is email me, justinpeden@gmail.com, and I'll email the link to you, and you can print it out or whatever, you know, or you can just read it online. I wanted it in hard copy, and I'll tell you this, y'all. It is very hard to read this book and study it on the PDF because it's just confusing. When you can sit here and flip through the pages, it is a whole lot more practical. Now, you're going to have a good printer to print out 200 and something color pages. Otherwise, it could get expensive. If you get on Amazon, you can order that book. It's about $800. It'll be all right, Jennifer. I'll email them all back. It may take me a while. Jeffrey, I'm hoping that these books that I've got a stack of, I mean, I got all kind of gardening books, hide tannins books. I've got plant medicinal. I got a whole bunch of medicinal plant books, but I got a lot of all the Foxfire books. I mean, I have saved survival knowledge books. If I see one, I buy it at a thrift store and bring it home. Canning books, preserving stuff, in which the preserving meat is a trick here with our humidity. It don't, stuff will spoil when it wouldn't have spoiled because we don't have a long enough cold period. Now you can preserve stuff, you put it in the refrigerator and salt it down and let it dry out in there. You can preserve it that way, but if you don't have power, you're not gonna have a refrigerator. So, but I'm hoping that all these books help me to become a valued resource, keep me alive. You know, I'll probably get overrun with people camped out up here on this hill trying to live with me. But if they come up here, I'll welcome them to pitch them a tent and live here all they want to. But they gonna work. If they lazy, they gonna get put under the apple tree down there. I'll use them for fertilizer. Lady Hammer, there ain't no doubt about that. I won't never be able to drink tea again if we run without sugar. Well, Jennifer, we got a used printer from a big company. They was redoing some stuff. I knew somebody that worked there, and we got that laser jet printer in yonder. I spent $115, something like that, on Amazon for all the cartridges, but now I have printed. But it's got some problems. I had to stand there and print each page one at a time. Click this page, type the page number in, and hit print. Because if I just selected all of them and print, it started double printing pages. And it would jam up, but now it done fine printing one at a time. But now that was just my personal deal. If you got a good printer, you'll be in the money. I need to look into that fermenting whole tomatoes and stuff, but I'm going to be honest with y'all, we don't use it. When I make stews, I eat tomatoes, that's like pickling. We don't do it. We've pickled some stuff, but y'all, we don't eat a lot of pickled stuff here. Now, I need to pickle some eggs because I love pickled eggs, and that's what I need to do with some of my eggs here before long, because I'm steadily getting a bunch, and I've done let a bunch of stuff hatch. I got a bunch of babies down there out of my Americanas, and I'm going to transition them into my big pen eventually, and I'm gonna start weeding out some game, because I'm gonna tell y'all, them game hens are way too excited about eating eggs. They just, in a fight, you can't introduce new chickens into the pen. They go to killing each other, and I'm just tired I loved my game roosters, but I'm over them, I think. Well, Lady Hammer, we don't eat a lot of sugar. But sweet tea. The sugar is I'm not really a health nut. I tell you what I am. I am fascinated with the power in plants. I look at, God gave us these plants, and this is what they can do, and that fascinates me. But now I am fairly healthy. I try to take care of myself. We don't eat an abundance of junk food. But now, there's a lot of sugar in even like fruit juices. Like today, you see me when I was cooking, I was drinking water in that cup. I drank water. Now I drank probably too much coffee. I don't put anything in my coffee. I drink my coffee black. But now my tea, I got to have sweet tea. But now I try to limit my sweet tea to a glass during a meal, and I try not to drink an abundance of it. But now the ice cream, I'm gonna eat my ice cream. But now I don't eat ice cream every day. We buy a gallon bucket of ice cream, and it'll last us 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks, something like that. I don't eat it every day. But now when I do eat it, I fix me a big old bowl. So I don't eat like I don't eat just, a big bowl of ice cream every day. I could, but I don't for the health. Larry, it don't take long to pickle eggs, couple hours, but I'm going to tell you the last time I pickled eggs, they all turned green in there and stunk up the whole house. So, Brian, if you'll come up here, we'll work something. I've had people contacted me wanting to buy chickens, and I really don't have much that's pure anymore, and I hate to sell them to people that come up here thinking, hey, these are great chickens. I've got a few breeds that I want to keep that I'll always have, my grays, but like I can't get the Kelsos. I'm done with them. The rooster died out of there, and I put another rooster in there, but they ain't. I never find an egg in there. They eat the eggs, and I'm done fooling with them. I want to have chickens that, hey, if something happened and I needed to eat them, I could. And I think that's what I want to go back to. And them a lot of these pens ain't that great. I don't know, but if you come up here one day, you can look at them. We'll work something out. I hadn't pushed trying to sell a bunch of them. I've had several people contact me wanting to buy them, and I don't know. And I'm leery about who I let come up and tell where I live and come to my yard, because 90% of the people are probably good people, but you never know. Mosquitoes is fixing to eat us up out here, ain't they? Ain't nothing in my coffee yet, are they? Use this right here for a light. I don't see nothing in it. During the summer, I don't really have arthritis problems, but I eat a few pokeberries when they're ripe on the vines. I eat 2 or 3 every day when I walk by. That's why I left this big plant right here by the house, because I'll walk by it. I can pick a few and eat them along. Now, I do like, Jennifer, your idea of salad dressing made from tomatoes. I never really thought about that. We don't grow any sugar cane here, Suzanne. Now, I've got a neighbor down the road that grows some, but I hadn't never tried to grow any. Sugar cane, it probably ain't that hard to be... It probably ain't that hard to grow. I've never done it. I'll tell y'all, I struggle with watermelons. I don't know why, but I can't hardly grow a watermelon to save my life. I can grow the vine. The vine will live and do, but it don't never really just produce a big watermelon. And I thought, well, maybe this year it will, so I really hadn't got down there and dug around that grass to see. I need to go down there and hoe around them, probably is what needed to happen. Eight at a time for 3 days in a row. Mike, you got it going. Michelle's got bread. She's been baking bread all day, selling some of it. Cinnamon rolls and loaf bread. She's made some good bread. Greek salad dressing, olive oil, and many herbs. Oh, Lord. Don't go on a road trip with a man that shows up with a bucket of hot pickled eggs. I could see where that'd go south. That's like my wife getting in there. She likes to cook with them beans. She like, well, we're going to have beans of some kind. She likes to cook red beans and rice and all that stuff. Well, then a couple hours later, she's regretting cooking them beans. I said, well, you cooked them. Don't look at me. What have you been doing? Huh, fella? What are you been doing? Running around barking? Is Roxanne on a chain? Who chained her up? Well. Y'all, the mosquitoes is getting bad. We killing them two at a time now. We're gonna have to shut this down, go in the house, keep from getting eat up, ain't we, Roscoe? Are you about ready to quit, huh? So you about had enough too? Well, I ain't had no supper. I ain't not in there bite. You done look at him, done wiped them little grubby paws all over me, cleaning your feet on my good blue jeans. This is a right brand new pair of blue jeans I got on. I ripped the tag off of them this morning when I put them on. These pants, back when I done one of my boot videos, I had them tight-legged pants on. They thought I guess they probably was skinny jeans, I don't know, but I don't buy them for a fashion statement. I like to buy the tighter-legged blue jeans so when in the winter, they'll go down in my boots without wadding up inside my rubber boots. And when I'm out here barefooted walking around, they don't go down under my heel and I'm walking on the back of them. It drives me nuts because I stay barefoot a lot. So that is why I have a lot of the tight-legged blue jeans. It ain't like a fashion statement, skinny jeans. But anyway, we go to this store uptown that sells seconds, basically. And these pants, I can buy them in there for about $11.95. So I don't never worry about what cut they are, you know. I got a pair of straight leg and a pair of boot cut this week, $11 a pair. And that's the way I do my bread. That buying $40 and $50 pair of blue jeans to go work in don't make good sense to me. So y'all, couple of things. I know some of you didn't get in on this. For those of you that joined late, these two books, email me about them if you're interested in This Present Darkness and Piercing the Darkness. I'm gonna give these away in a drawing like I did the knife. And those are spiritual books. They're a fictional tale that allows you to kind of understand how spiritual warfare works, how demons influence people to do bad stuff, and angels fight and help people, and how prayer gives strength to these angels. It's this elaborate story about how everything works, and it's a fictional story, but it applies and helps you understand what's going on in our world today. If you're interested in reading these and never read them and all, email me that you want to be entered into the book drawing for, just say This Present Darkness or the Frank Peretti books. These are written by Frank Peretti. And then if you're interested in the Herbs for You PDF of the Herbs for You books, I have the red and the orange copy on PDF. I can email you that. So email me at justinpeden@gmail.com if you're interested in either one of them. I'm doing this to help you out. And I'm giving away these two books just because y'all, I have been given a lot of stuff. And I found these in the thrift store and I was like, I've got them in a hardback copy. Well read them, and I'll keep my hardback copy. So I want to give these away just to give back to people. And I'm going to do this as long as I find stuff that somebody is interested in. If I get medicinal plant books that, hey, I already got one or anything, those two things, if you're interested in that, it's justinpeden@gmail.com. That is justinpeden@gmail.com. If you're struggling to get up with me there, like if I ever write you back and maybe you got the wrong email, you can get up with me on the Facebook. Spirit of the Outdoors Facebook page has this logo on it, and message me there, and I can get up with you that way too to get a good email. So anyway, thank y'all for hanging out with us tonight. I've had a good time. We've talked about a lot of stuff. Got to show y'all my otter hide. This is probably one of the best otter hides I have tanned. So I'm getting better at my tanning stuff. Got a lot going on. We talked about a lot cooked tonight. I got to go in there and eat. I thank y'all for hanging around, listening to No Country Boy Talk. Y'all, I really do appreciate it. And I look forward to these lives because I enjoy sitting here talking, and I don't reckon I ever run out of anything to talk about. So anyway, we'll keep Tommy and his family in our prayers. And y'all, I know we get a lot of other prayer requests throughout the weeks and things, and we need to get working on a prayer list type deal where we can. And I really hadn't figured out a good way to do it, but maybe I'll make that happen here before too got awful long. So those that have asked for prayer, keep them in your prayers. Keep us in your prayers. I am preaching again this weekend at another church. Preaching went good last week. Y'all had everything went wonderful. I'm preaching Sunday morning again. So thank y'all for watching. We'll see you next time. Y'all have a good night. Remember, the best way to do things is the way you like to do it. We'll see y'all. Y'all have a good one.